Right, I can see you.
I can see you. Here we go. What were you thinking when you were thinking about the cloakroom experience? How were you thinking about the guest experience and change back then and making, things happen?
Okay. So you've experienced London weather, so you know that our cloakrooms are heavily used. We have three at the Hippodrome in use pretty much 24 hours a day, especially more in winter, obviously. But the experience for customers is not great because we had an old-fashioned paper ticket system and people would lose their tickets. They've had a good time. Their cloakroom ticket is the last thing they were thinking of. So we were looking for better ways to manage that and to manage their experience. It's also, and also it takes a lot of time for staff to look for an item when the ticket is missing. So I think I came across Chexology on, I don't know, I was scrolling through the internet or something, came across it, and then reached out. And then you said that you were going to, I don't know if you were coming to London particularly for that, but you were coming to London and we caught up then. You explained the product and it sounded really great. And it so happened that I was coming to New York later that year. So we met up then and I went and saw it, the system in action. I had to drag my family along as well and very impressed with it. Came back to London, explained what I saw, um, explained to you some of the hiccups that we might have in terms of legislation here. You worked your way magic and worked around and we got it working and it's great and we haven't looked back.
You were the first site where we were going to be using the product 24/7. We didn't even have the concept of not being able to close out and reopen because every other site had shifts, right? You'd open a cloakroom at this time, close it at that time. But with you being 24/7, there was a lot of things that you brought up. And we're like, well, how do we reconcile with 24/7 cloakroom operations? How do we put them on these counters where you have crazy volume? And when I went back just this year, Lisa, you still, out of all the sites, I mean, 5 years, you were the one who actually found these stands yourself that are like super,
Yeah.
super just simple and work super well that we've actually taken your ideas and kind of worked with them over the past 5 years to redesign and think through our stands. So for me, the reason I was so excited to get you on here is you're someone who sees all the details and works really hard to make sure everything kind of comes together.
Yeah, usually if you just start with the customer, I mean, it's the best place to start. So what do your customers want? What do they need? I mean, it's all very, very basic, but once you put them at the heart of the project and not sort of start the project and think about the customer afterwards, which is, it's a mistake. You make sure you've got whatever you're rolling out, whatever you're planning, you've got thinking about the customer all the way through. Obviously, operations are important, but the customer is the most important. So you can't go wrong if that's how you approach things.
I thank you for all the hospitality. Every time I come to London, I get to meet your team and I always learn something new. So, and I appreciate you coming on and talking to me, Lisa. I think our audience will really learn a lot from just hearing how you think and how you approach things. So I appreciate your time.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, and I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. Thank
Cool.
you.
Talk soon, Lisa. Bye.
Bye.
All right, okay.